We're getting ready to clip in. Put the lights on. I'm putting on the front light because it's going to be overcast the whole day pretty much.
It's very muggy. We've had a lot of rain.
There you go. Front
and
lights
so
on.
Sticky.
All right, let's do this. Got mud guards on, shoe covers, because there's a chance of rain as usual. That's the weather pattern we're in right now.
I'm packing a lot of food in my right pocket because I consumed a lot of calories this week on my rides. That's what my body needed.
I tried to do my yard this week. The rain wouldn't let me. So I did this zone right here. You see? That's the zone that I did right here. That's the one that was the most overgrown.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, with all the crabgrass. This one here, there's no strange grass invading. So.
Yeah, this is going to be like a carpet right here.
Exactly. I cut it very high. I ordered a new muffler for my lawnmower. It's too loud.
Okay.
So I'm going to change it and see if that helps. That's the new Suki outfit that they sent for me to test.
Yep, nice color.
I did a video on both of them. I haven't released it yet. I'm still working on it. But I will get some clips from today and add it to it.
Yeah, that's a nice fit. I like that color.
They went down one size. This is the XL instead of 2XL.
Yeah.
I like the waist better. The upper body fits about the same, which is weird when you think about it. Because she said this is supposedly cut bigger. But
That's
yeah.
supposed to be cut bigger.
Yeah, that's what she said. You know, it's hard to say.
I like the way it fits on the arms.
Yeah, it's got the same little thing on the thing here that the classic jersey that we get from Rafa has.
So,
On this ride, Paul and I left Northampton. We rolled into the woodlands. It was very, very muggy. We picked up Team RR Research Forest there, went down Fish Creek with them, all the way to Honier. We took Capitol Road to Raven Chapel. Nice riding there. We stopped the filming there, went into Montgomery. We went on 1097, and at that point we let the group go. Went out Bailey Grove, 149. Went into the forest. On the way back into the forest, we actually saw Paul H., who's recovered well from being hit by a car last January. It was good to see him out there getting his K's in. We came back into the woodlands through Honier. We took Navajo Road and on Fish Creek back into town. It was very, very breezy. And I hope you will enjoy the clips we got for you, but it was a really good ride. We're kind of getting used to riding in our heat now.
About the group, it was close and we had to work.
Yeah, we had to hustle. We left around 6:28 or so, and these guys leave at 7, so it takes about 35 minutes to get out there. So we really had to work, and we got there just as they hit Research, so we had to chase them on Research Forest here. I handed Paul the camera right as we caught up to them. You see my right pocket? There's a lot of food in there.
That's why I wanted us to go straight.
yeah, you called it right on the spot.
Yeah, we did not go into the parking lot. We just stayed on the road because we were running late. So we didn't have to do too long of a chase. But got me nice and warmed up. My engine's ready to go. I think I have my phone in that right pocket. I really loaded that right pocket, so you will see it will have a tendency to lean to the right a little bit because I took off the camera from the middle pocket once we started filming, so the middle pocket's empty.
All right.
That's Lula on the right. I just passed. I told him good morning as we rolled up.
Good morning.
I just left the mud guards on my bike all week because it was just raining. There's a chance of rain all week even though I didn't get rain on much, but in different spots, you'd get a little shower here and there. Kind of like you guys in Florida have, Tampa Bay area. Every afternoon it rains. Those of you in Malaysia and places, I'm sure you're familiar with that. The heat-induced rains. That's what we're going through here. But it was nice because it lowered the temperatures somewhat. But the day is very sticky. I told Paul I'm gonna go mess with Dan. He's at the front pulling. I'm gonna attack him. And then I'm gonna do a victory celebration. Dan and Mark are at the front. So Mark said, it's alive, because they haven't seen us in a while. At least a month we haven't ridden with them. And Mark said it's alive, so I'm rolling back, and Dan's gonna give me a fist pump. That's Dan's on my right there, Dan the man. That was a nice little climb there. That's why you saw the watts go up. You can see my pocket is leaning to the right. I will push it back periodically, but that's because of the food and my phone.
Yeah, he's on the right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Paul asked if Mark was there. I thought Mark is on the right.
Yeah, man.
Paul's greeting one of the riders as we roll by. I think this guy on my right I think his name is Kenny. I've got to confirm that because I've ridden with him a few times, and I think he rides with WCC from time to time also. Because he's going to strike up a conversation about the mud guards when we turn on Egypt Lane. I told him, yeah, I just left them on the bike.
Yeah.
Because there's a chance of rain today on this ride. It never really materialized where we went. But it's always, see me push that pocket back. So it's not the jersey, it's just that I'm carrying a lot of stuff. I have gels and bars.
Back there.
Paul was saying that as he rolled past the lady back there, she says something about the camera, and he just said, yeah, he didn't hear it. It's kind of hard to hear people when you're moving with the wind. I'm not sure what she was saying, but she's seen us with the camera before. So I finally gotten used to our heat just by getting out in it regularly, not very long, hour here, hour there, hour and a half. I stand a little bit just to change the way my body's working. In a little bit, the guy on the left, I think it's Kenny, I gotta confirm, as I said earlier, he'll start a conversation about the mud guards. He said he said you got the fenders going. I told him, yeah, I just left it on there.
Sometimes you wonder if the rain is just following me. Yeah. But I'll take the rain. I like the low temperature. You know what? Yeah, it's been a nice week.
Yeah, we had a nice week. 28 Celsius for a high, thereabouts, which is like 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and we'll take it. So today is very humid because of all the rains we've had all week. So you could literally feel your hands, everything, your lenses were fogging up. My mirror on the bike was fogging up. It was something. I'm greeting Greg. I call him G-Man, guy on the right with a colorful jersey. That's Jerry. Jerry caught up to us. So Jerry must have been running behind too.
rain cloud is following me around.
I told him the rain clouds seem to be following me all week. It rained just on you.
I don't know. We called him after the start.
1097 to Bailey Grove.
He's giving us the route because both Jerry and Paul and I just caught up to the group after they had left. So Jerry was trying to find out what the route is. See, his glasses are foggy. That's what he's saying. Mine are too. So he wanted to know what the plan was. I thought we're just going to stay with these guys in Tohonia. We ended up going a little further out than they did. Because once we got out there, I don't think it was even 9 o'clock. And I was like, man, it's early. Let's go. So I'm behind Paul here. I think I was cleaning my glasses or something. It's just when you stop, when it's humid like this, everything fogs up. Behind Paul on the right. In a little bit, he will turn the camera around. Jerry and them are back there just chatting. Jerry will ride up. Jerry hangs back and a lot of times with the group because he wants to lay on his aero bars, his clip-ons. He'll stay at the back and just rest on his clip-ons and keep the group within a bike length or so. That's the way he rides. So that way he gets to ride hard. He's not drafting per se. Jerry's asking where we're going.
Bailey Grove sounds good. Let's get out there. This guy wants to, man.
He wants to, because he knows we'll go a little further than the group usually does, and Jerry rides a lot more than we do. And so he's asking what we're doing, and I just told him that we'll roll with these guys to Bailey Grove and then decide when we get out there. This guy's having a mechanical, Mike S5, so he's gonna go back home. He said his shifters are messed up. He's gonna bail, and I heard it. That's why I'm waiting.
Yeah, he said his shifting is messed up, so he's gonna bail out.
Yeah, you don't want to ride out there with bad shifters. We got too many climbs, between 3 to almost 7% in the forest. They may not be long, but you would really strain your legs if you don't have your shifting together. It's just rolling terrain. So he missed maintenance Monday, so now because of that he's gonna not get a good ride in. So you got to keep your bike maintained. You can't do it yourself. Take it to the shop. Don't wait till Saturday.
He missed maintenance Monday.
Yep.
The Fish Creek Thoroughfare. We hit the open road.
You remember? I remember.
Until I get a lot of my food in my system, I fiddle with my right pocket all the time. On the next ride, I may just put it on the left. I've gotten used to having the food on the right, but I'll probably put it on the left next time and see how it balances off better. I think my phone is also in there. It's not just food. There's a lot of stuff in there. So I try to do that because the middle pocket I save for the camera when we're not filming. So that's more things than the average cyclist would carry. And so I just get it to where it feels right. That's why you see me push it back. You can see how heavy that pocket is. That's my gel sticking up.
The guy in front of you.
Oh, Mike. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Mike Weingrad in front of this gentleman in the blue and yellow. Mike Weingrad is in front of him, and he's riding a gravel bike with larger tires or whatever, and whatever. But it's just, you're working so much harder with this group the way they ride. People on the channel have asked, you know, about stuff like that, and what I said was, if you must, then you need to have a set of wheels for the road and a set of wheels for gravel, because the tires that are made for gravel have more rolling resistance on the road, unless you just really want to work that much harder when you're with the group. He doesn't stay with us the whole way. We leave him on somewhere in a few kilometers. He drifts and falls off the pace. But you can, I don't know if you noticed, I don't know if we get close enough to get it, but you can see his tires are larger. And what Paul noticed was his rear cassette was nice and clean. So I've never seen his cassette that clean. And that's why he said, oh, it's a new bike. And I told him, yeah, it looks like a mountain/gravel bike. We don't have a lot of gravel roads in the area. You kind of have to go out of your way to find them. That's Jerry. Jerry Lutner. Jerry, background is from swimming. So he's got the engine, the aerobic engine, and on the bike, he can get it going pretty fast.
Gravel bikers.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling Paul. He's got a gravel bike. So we're cruising around 25 miles an hour or so. I'm in zone 2. Top of zone 2. This lets me know, yes, my body has finally acclimated, because this is a sticky morning. I mean, you're wet to the point where your legs are wet.
Yeah, man.
We're perspiring, foggy, whatever. So I knew, okay, good. So my body has adjusted. This is Jerry.
I get to film everybody.
So it's like 3 weeks ago, I'd be like 165.
Yeah, I'm okay. I had a dentist surgery done, and I was down for a month.
You had surgery?
Yeah, back that was on the 3rd of June.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't hear.
Yeah,
What happened?
I was missing. Well, but I was eating and I bite into something sharp,
Okay.
and it got between 2 teeth. It ruined. It went through the gum.
Oh, really?
So the tooth split. So I
Paul
had to
telling
have,
Jerry about his dental surgery. Jerry didn't know about it.
Painful.
People while they were doing it?
No, it was painful afterwards. Yeah, I'm still nursing it, kinda. But
So they put a new tooth in, I guess? Or?
yeah, 2 back ones. I still have to go back for them to review it.
Wow.
So this is where Jerry normally sits. He'll be behind
I'm not
here,
gonna slow down anytime soon.
and he'll like stay within a few bike lengths, and he'll just keep the group in contact until he decides he wants to go pull or get in the pace line. You'll see that.
8 hours, the pen comes back. You know, there is nothing I can do about it.
I'm pushing down a gel wrapper that I've already used. We didn't have any trash cans to throw it in, so I pushed it back, kept it in my pocket until we got to
Yeah,
a stop.
I'm gonna hang on as long as I can, and then
There's a red light, but I know it's short, so I'm just soft pedaling. And now it changes, it's green.
yeah.
So now we're
he's in
going.
front.
So Jerry asked if Mark was here, and Paul told him he's in front. So as we go through the intersection, the yellow light comes on. We got like a few seconds, so we're good to go. And these guys come up to us. So 3 weeks ago at this effort, with the WCC guys, I was like 160 something. It felt like 180 something. That's why I let them go around here.
Hey, Mark.
So you have to know
There he
yourself.
is.
How are you, man?
That's Mark.
Good,
So you
good.
have to know when you're firing. That's how I knew. I was like, this should not be, not only should my heart rate not be this high, it should not feel this hard. So I knew that the heat was bugging my system. My engine was overheating. So every time I soft pedal, the watts flicker down. That's what you're seeing there. So on a flat road, that's why riders can hang on a flat road when the speed is steady. But when you start to accelerate, like out of the saddle and so forth, then you generate huge watts. Or into the wind, huge watts, or up a climb. That's why the riders struggle in the wind or up the climb if they have not trained properly. Because on a flat road, you can kind of get in the draft, soft pedal, take some breaks from applying the power. Because you're not really applying the power as forcefully as you would in a crosswind or a headwind or up a climb. So the power meter reveals a lot if you understand how the forces work when you ride your bike. And I study that kind of stuff after the ride. I look at the ascent on the ride, which kind of lets me know how hard the ride was. Because if you do a lot of climbing, you know you have to work. But right now, really, this is just, I could do this pace all day. That's the nice thing about a group. You're sitting in at 22, 23. I'm in my endurance zone. It's very muggy. I'm unzipping. That's one thing I like about these quality jerseys. You can unzip with one hand. That's another requirement that you must put when you buy a kit. You don't have to sit up to unzip. This is the new Suki Sport jersey. I've got a review coming out. The CS 1101, they call this one. And those are the new shorts with the lighter pads. I also reviewed it and did a slight comparison to the other shorts they had sent. They work really well. It pretty much, the pads disappear, which is what you want. Because it was so muggy, those shoe covers on my shoe, by the time I got home, the little lining in the shoe near your ankle was damp. Just from the perspiration. It was a good thing that these shoe covers are breathable. But we put them on because of the threat of rain. And whenever there's a threat of rain, it's a lot easier to clean the covers than your shoes. Yeah, a lot of these lights are very short and they favor Fish Creek because it's the main drag. Those streets are for subdivisions and so forth. So they don't last very long. You time them. So this is where we lost Mike Weingrad right there on the right. He let a gap open and we had to close the gap so you can see the watts went up. This is a slight grade, it says 1%. But the watts really went up for us to close the gap. So that's a good example of why you shouldn't leave gaps. You can see now I'm riding at 100 watts or less here, whereas I had to do 300 and something to close the gap. So whenever you're closing gaps or chasing people down or whatever, you expend more energy. So when you ride in a group, stay where you need to be, stay close. You expend less energy than if you're doing jumps and attacks. That's why racers ride like that. They attack to wear people down, and then the breakaway or whatever group develops can settle on a pace. So you want to save energy? Learn how to draft. You see where I'm on his wheel? I'm staying a little to the left. This road is going up. That's why the watts are going up. So I don't break my rhythm. I stay a little to the left just in case he slows down. I don't have to react to him. I'm just slightly on the side. Plus I can see around him. It may say 23C, but it feels warmer. I take a drink here, just a little drink, periodically. You see, I wipe my hand because the bottle, the condensation on the bottle makes your hand slippery. And when I wipe my hand on my shorts, even my shorts are just a little bit of moisture from the humidity. Everything's damp. I'm glad that I have leather tape on the bike, so they're comfortable and my hands are not slipping. So if you have slippery tape, make sure you're wearing gloves that can absorb the perspiration so your hands don't slip. I think this is Ridge Lake Drive. It's a little bit of a bump. Yeah, 3%. There's a gravel on the corner. I never ride there at that intersection. I'm zipping down even more to get more wind. I'm at the bottom of zone 4 at this point, which feels good. A little below race pace. I keep my rhythm consistent as we go down and up on these rollers. Every time you see the watts going up, there's more power being put on the pedal because either somebody has twisted the screw or the wood's going up. In a little bit, I think Jerry will pull out of the line and go back to the back and sit there. Dan's pulling off the front. It's those little applications of power that wear you down. So when you do a road race or a criterium, every time the race goes around a corner, people are accelerating out of those corners. So a steady pace is easier to maintain than a pace with a lot of accelerations. The accelerations really hurt. So the climbs and going into a headwind. I'm dodging the debris on the road, and you can see I just used my hip so it didn't startle Paul, who's behind me. It was just like a smooth movement. The road goes up a little bit here before we get to the overpass. I'm looking down to see who's behind me and which side they're on. This is where Greg's shot pulled out of the line because he didn't want to go as hard as we're going right now, especially with the overpass coming. I think he said he was trying to do at least 100 miles on this day. He had posted on the board, so he's backing off the pace a bit. They did such a poor job of paving this overpass, as new as it is, falling apart. We actually started going harder after we crested the thing. You can see we climbed up to 300 watts, and then right there we got to 400. Now it's settling back down. I've been wiping my hands. It's just, besides your arms perspiring, your hands were perspiring, everything was steamy and sticky. Just one of those mornings. But you know, with the wind, it wasn't bad. It's just that you felt damp. So we made sure we drank often. We're gonna be turning on Capitol Road. That's Mark. He's letting those guys know it's a left turn ahead. I'm not sure who's at the front right now. It might be Austin. They went ahead and there were cars behind, so Paul's making sure people are aware. I checked before I came over. I didn't just go with them. I saw the headlights of the cars. You will see them passing. They kind of went in this middle too early. Yeah, normally you want to wait till you get closer to the turn before you get in this middle turn lane. That's Mark's bike making that noise. I don't know if it's the bottom bracket or whatever, but that frame has been noisy since he got it. At first it was the wheels that was making noise. I don't know what it is on this ride, but we could hear it every time he stood. A noise means there's a problem with your bike. You need to resolve it, otherwise it gets worse. It's a part that's out of alignment or not tight enough, and you might get stranded if you ignore it. Your bike is supposed to be quiet. I'm not really expending a lot of energy. At 200 watts, like it says, it's because of the hill.
Okay, go ahead.
He tell Paul to come in. Paul said, no, it's fine, because he's ahead here, so Paul let him come in. I'm just riding sensibly right now because this is a downhill, and to keep the effort right in these kind of conditions, what you want to do is not go harder than you can recover from quickly if you want to play with the group. At this point, I'm feeling really good.
I like the fact that my body's gotten accustomed to this weather that we have, because we went from the end of May to June, just from moderate to just very sticky and hot quickly. So since I'm indoors quite a bit, it took a while to adjust. And so it's really good. You always want to listen to yourself. So I'm feeling really good. You can see from my pedaling action, I'm just relaxed. This road goes up, and it says 2%. Look at the watts. Right there, we're going harder. You can see it. So there's a lot of acceleration, back off in a group. You've got to get accustomed to that if you're going to ride with a group. You got to be able to change your pace. That's where selecting the proper gearing comes in. I'm not depending on anybody to point out stuff. You see where I'm positioned? I can always see around riders. That's the way you're supposed to ride. Don't depend on people to point things out. Look around to see what's coming. Then you don't have to react a lot of the times. We announced that it's clear. We already looked, it's clear. It's Raven Chapel Road. That's Austin that we just passed, that Paul greeted. He was at the front earlier. I'm sitting in third position here. The gentleman I was talking with about the fenders and rain earlier in the ride is pulling at the front. There's another rider in red who loves accelerating when the road goes up. He and Mark like to do that. Whenever the road goes up, they want to work really hard on the climbs. And so I figure he'll probably do it on Raven Chapel Hill that's coming up. I like that hill because it's hard and it's long. So if you go too early on a climb like that, then you struggle at the top if you don't gauge it correctly. You see Paul's arm? Look at the perspiration. That's the kind of day we're having. It's a day where you stop at a red light and your glasses fog over. Just because of all the rains we've had this week. Everything's nice and green. So whether you're in high humidity or dry heat, you need to drink often, on and off the bike. Keep yourself hydrated, especially in dry heat because it's easy to forget. And you can get dehydrated quickly if you're in the desert air. Every 10-15 minutes when you ride in, drink a little something. I just drink whenever I think about it, or I eat something whenever I think about it. I always make sure I drink before I feel thirsty. Thirst means you're behind. And if that's your only cue, then drink. Don't put it off. You feel thirsty, drink. Catch up. I like to stay ahead. So I just use a little, like an ounce or two. I have to drink a lot. We can see this intersection. The left dead ends. There's a car right, but he's quite a ways back. Since he'd already gone through, we go through as a train. You hear Mark's bike as he stands? That would drive me nuts. I'm too anal to let that go. About every 90 days or so, I have to do my ultra torque bottom brackets because the bearings are external and sometimes they get noisy. So I make sure they're lubed. I simply lube the cups that they sit in because the bearings themselves are sealed. So we approach the climb now. Just watch the watts. You will see, I gotta get his name. The guy in the red accelerates. I just stay on his wheel right there. He's out of the saddle sprinting. I'm not sprinting. I'm just going faster. And I don't get out of the saddle. He's out of the saddle. We're gone. We've gap marked a little bit. Then I go to his left. He's out of the saddle. I'm sitting and I pass him. Almost 600 watts. So I go ahead and just back off the power when we get to the top. You will hear Dan and Darren say,
Sprinting up hills. I know we were racing.
Darren said it didn't make any sense to sprint up hills. And Dan said, I didn't know we were racing. That's funny. But yeah, we're just messing around. I mean, I didn't even get out of the saddle. So for me, that wasn't a sprint. That was an acceleration. You know, just a little surge. I just used cadence, if you noticed at the time. I kept my cadence high and revved it up. So at this point, Paul backs off the power here and we go ahead and wrap up the filming on this stretch. All of that, after all of that effort, we rested at the corner at 28:54. Paul came and told us, I'm not stopping. he kept on going. So we were taking a health break, and so I had to get back on my bike because it was still taking a break, and I went ahead and rode up to Paul. And then we went out 1097, and they caught up to us on 1097, and they turned on Bailey Grove, and then we went on 149. So I hope you got a chance to get some K's in. This is part of what we did on Saturday.